Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. We will start shortly our seminar of KGAP Plus Specialties in the Israeli Pitches. First of all, we want to say thanks to all the organizers, the ATR, Kehina Research Complex, JETRO, the Israel Economic Mission to Japan, and the Kansai Israel Business Promotion Consortium. Today we will have an opening remarks by Mr. Avi Lufton, and afterwards we will have pitches by 7 Israeli companies, as you can see on the screen, and then closing remark by Dr. Suzuki. Please notice that during the presentations, we will not have time to have Q&A. Thus, please use the tab of the Q&A and the companies will answer during the webinar itself. So please welcome Mr. Avi Lufton, Acting VP, Head of the International Division of the Israel Innovation Authority, for opening remarks. Just a second.
Ella?
Avi, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, so thank you, Ella. Good morning to all the participants from Israel, and good afternoon in Japan. I would like to thank my colleague and friend, Mr. Hiroyuki Suzuki, and our colleague, Ms. Makiko. Very glad to open the second webinar. We held the first one about a few weeks ago in June, and I think it was really successful. While 200 companies and organizations participating in this webinar, and we're really happy to continue this this collaboration. A few words about our collaboration with ATR. We started in 2018. I think we just exposing just the tip of the iceberg of the potential of the cooperation with ATR and what they can raise up from their side to our side here in Israel. Till now, about 11 Israeli companies engage with ATR activities, and I really want to thank them about this, and really hope that we will continue and even increase the cooperation with the companies in Kehina region. In this webinar, as Ella mentioned, 7 Israeli companies will present, and I hope as much as can from this group will continue and present in a demo day that ATR planning. I truly think that we can expand the very qualitative cooperation with ATR, and I think it's a great opportunity to companies to take advantage of this relations and cooperation with them. I will end by mentioning that there is a call for proposal open with Japan, the Israel Innovation Authority cooperating with NEDO. This year it will be through the Eureka framework. So it's intended to close in September 10. So till then you have about 2 months to find a partner, or if you already have, to use this framework and submit, and hopefully to receive funding from both of us in the IIA and the NEDO. I would like to end by wishing you a successful presentations and fruitful reaction with the Japanese side. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you very much, Avi. Let's continue for the second section of this webinar, the pitches by the Israeli company. First, I would like to invite the Israeli company Solite, Mr. Ofer Becker, co-founder and CTO of the company. Please, your stage is yours. You have 5 minutes. Thank you.
Can I please share my screen?
Yes, sure.
Thank you. Is it on? Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ofer Becker. I'm co-founder and CTO of Solite. And I would like to tell you about the fascinating work we are doing with sunlight. So, as you know, Israel is a very sunny country. Is a very sunny country, and it has always struck us as an extreme paradox, the fact that we have this fantastic source of light that is freely available. I'm talking, of course, about the sun, and yet in most of our homes and our workplaces, we use artificial light throughout the day. Artificial light wastes electricity, wastes fossil fuel, is flickering, is unhealthy for us. So this discrepancy is really a problem with current architecture, and we have designed Solite to implement and correct this situation. So I will describe a very basic situation in a small private home, and as you can see, on the direct sunlit side, you get full sunlight, so these rooms will be sunny and very pleasant to stay in. But on the north, indirectly lit side, it will always be shaded. You will always lack light in that area. And no matter how many windows you will add, there's just not enough incoming sunlight on that side to elevate the situation. So our system, our domestic solution, if employed here, is actually a very efficient static collector which resides above the rooftop, receiving direct sunlight, as you can see, channeling this sunlight indoors in real time and projecting it in the needed dark areas. So, of course, this is just one very basic implementation, but you can think of basements, you can think of indoor sections of buildings where you have no windows, clean rooms, assembly lines in industrial buildings, and of course realize that there is a large world of implementations for this. So beyond the domestic situation, we have also developed an industrial solution which lights up around 60 square meters, each one of these collectors. And the pictures here are taken from our Kedma project, which is a beautiful hotel in the Israeli desert where we have implemented our system on a large scale. In the film running below, you can see 2 systems lighting part of the dining room. Of course, providing full spectrum natural sunlight with no heat and no UV, which is perfect for a desert. We are also running interesting projects with the Eilat municipality where we will be supplying our systems for all future educational facilities in Eilat, and also running a project with HP Indigo, supplying their production division in Kiryat Gat. So basically, what's the big deal about receiving sunlight? So of course there is a saving in energy because you turn off your electric light in daytime, and that is the evident benefit. But beyond that, there are huge health improvements, such as significant improvement in situation of Alzheimer patients, elevating attention disorders in kids, very significant improvement in cardiovascular health. Natural light is an excellent sanitizer, actually in some respects much better than UV light. Sleep pattern regulation, I'm talking about 8% improvement in productivity of workers, 24% improvement in sales. So really these are the main benefits that go for much beyond just energy savings. Our interests in collaboration lie mostly within these fields. And we shall be very happy if we are accepted into the program to carry out work in respect of energy saving certification, validating the multiple benefits of sunlight, and of course, any other synergistic projects that your partners shall come up with will be welcomed by us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ofer, for the presentation. Of course, I will mention again, if you have questions, please feel free, write it in the Q&A in the toolbar below. Our next presenter is Glean Labs, Mr. Arik Waldman, the co-founder and the CEO of the company. Arik, the stage is yours. Please share your presentation.
Thank you. Okay, I want to make sure that you're seeing my screen.
Yes, we can.
Yes? Okay, great. So, hello everybody. My name is Arik Waldman and I'm CEO of Glean Labs. And we automatically map the skills, knowledge, and experience, or competencies, of tech employees in large organizations. Oh, sorry. Due to COVID-19, 70% of companies are freezing hires, which means they need to be able to do more with their existing workforce, whether it's knowing how to put the right people on the right projects, motivating internal mobility, or even reskilling and upskilling employees to meet the demand. Now, according to a recent study by McKinsey, the first step companies need to take to address these issues and emerge out of COVID-19 stronger is to identify which capabilities they have in the organization. The problem is that large companies simply don't have that kind of data about their employees. They don't know who knows what, who does what, and who's skilled at what across the organization. And that results in lost productivity and increased costs, and something that companies have tried to solve for years. Typically, what you see companies do is have meetings over meetings of committees of managers that come up with 10 or 20 or 50 skills they think they should map all of their employees by. And once they've done that, they send surveys asking employees to manually self-assess their own skills, which unfortunately most employees don't do. Other companies will have somebody sit individually with each employee, which is enormous overhead, or pay millions of dollars to consulting companies to essentially do the same thing. And this entire process can take as long as 2 years to complete. And the way it is right now, it just doesn't work because we're talking about a long, manual, expensive process producing partial and biased results, which are really just a snapshot in time and become obsolete by the time you complete the process. So it's hardly surprising that most companies just gave up and don't do any type of competency mapping. However, today, more than ever, companies need to be able to understand what their capabilities are in order to stay competitive, stay agile and effective and efficient. And this is where we come in. Glean automatically maps tech competencies in the organization based on evidence, the actual work done. Our solution is dynamic and continuously updating, taking into account both the frequent trends and changes in the market, as well as employee development. The way that it works is Glean integrates with the company's operational and collaboration systems that tech employees use on a daily basis to do their jobs. GitHub, Jira, Slack, Confluence, really whatever the system may be. And then from data on actual work and actual processes taking place, our machine learning algorithms can extract and map the competencies in the organization. And the beauty is that employees and managers don't need to do anything. They just do their jobs as they would anyway. And Glean creates and updates everything automatically. And this has a lot of applications. For example, say that I'm looking for an important project, I'm looking for a developer, somebody with a specific skill set and domain expertise. With Glean, I can instantaneously find the most relevant people across the company based on objective and comparable parameters. And the reason we can do that is because Glean automatically creates a profile for every tech employees that shows us a snapshot of what they worked on, what skills they have, what experience. And not only that, Glean also updates the profile over time as employees evolve and learn new skills. Beyond the individual employee level, Glean can also provide insights on an aggregated level. So if, for example, let's say that my company is providing on-premise services and we need to make a strategic decision to move to cloud services. And this is something that actually happened. So with Glean, I can actually get a really good understanding of what capabilities I have in the organization on an aggregated level in this particular domain, cloud computing and AWS. So now when I'm making this important strategic decision, I'm making it based on actual data. And this is really what Glean is all about. We provide insights that can be used in a variety of organizational processes, from strategic processes like workforce planning through operational processes like project staffing, down to individual employee processes like learning and development, internal mobility, expert finder, and more. Glean helps companies transform these processes from being expensive guesswork into data-driven decision-making. We are working with some of the largest companies in the world, companies like Siemens PLM, Walmart, Warner Media, and Intel, and we'll be happy to work with you too. Please feel free to email me, and I'll be happy to talk more in depth. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Eric, for your presentation. Our next presenter is Savor It, Mr. Moshe Aknin, the CTO of the company. Please, Moshe, the stage is yours.
Okay. Let me just share my presentation for a second. Here it is. So hello, everybody in Israel and Japan. My name is Moshe Aknin. I'm the CTO of Savor It. Savor It is a 2.5 years startup which is working on producing ready-to-eat, personalized plant-based meat replacement. Just okay. Mouse doesn't work, of course. We're addressing a growing market of people who are looking for meat replacement. Of course, the meat consumption around the world is growing, but also there are all kinds of concerns that are emerging, specifically with the Corona era that we are living in, where people are looking for safer, sometimes cheaper, and in many cases, non-meat solutions, sometimes for just conscious reasons. Still, people do like to preserve the meat experience or the meat eating experience, which means that the current solutions that are on the market are not good enough for them to consume. The meat consumption market is huge, and the meat replacement market is, alternative meat market is growing and growing very, very fast. Meat production is very expensive, and it's not sustainable for the coming future. So more and more solutions are being developed for producing a replacement which is actually plant-based and not concerning or not dealing with any actual animal. Moreover, there is a growing trend for looking for personalized nutrition. Sometimes it's for health reasons, people that need more fat in their food, more protein in their food, and food for them is the kind of treatment that they need. Sometimes it's just the fact that in the modern world, people are looking for personalized solutions for most of their of the product that they are consuming, and food is not different. What we are addressing is the ability to actually make the experience of texture and taste of meat-based food without using meat, having it cheap, sustainable, totally safe, and totally personalized. Our solution is actually it's actually using two parts. One is a specific material that was developed for years in the Faculty of Agricultural Engineering of the Hebrew University in Israel. This is a cellulose-based material, nanomaterial, that allows for very specific behavior of the food ingredients, of the plant ingredients that allow it to be very, very stable and be used in our smart robot, which is actually the way we produce the personalized dish for every customer. The way it works, it's quite straightforward. In the modern world, there are apps which can be carried in every smartphone or in tablets inside the restaurant. The customer can choose the dish that he or she wants. They can amend it to their liking or their needs. They can choose if they want more protein, more fat, the level of cooking, well done, medium, more juiciness. Depends on the level of knowledge and preference of the customer. The result of this choosing process is being sent to a printer, a robot, that sits in the kitchen of the restaurant or any other location. And the dish is being prepared from 3 different materials, which are basically the protein, fat, and the water-based solution, specifically to the specifications of the customer. It is also being cooked inside the machine, so it's basically totally enclosed small chef that is making the dish for the customer, and all the waiters have to do is to take the dish out of the machine and deliver it to the customer. This process takes minutes, around 6 minutes per burger. The materials that we're using allow us to have a very sustainable product, which means that it doesn't need to have refrigeration. It has 6 months shelf life without refrigeration whatsoever. You don't need to chill it or freeze it during transportation from the factory. All the ingredients are plant-based. All of them are non-allergenic. We don't have gluten inside. It's basically totally safe. Our team, we're basically 5, and we're growing. We have 3 more guys that are joining now, accumulating experience of 150 years in food technology, plant-based products, and additive manufacturing. We also have connections. We like to collaborate with the market. We have connections and advisory board. One of the most substantial one of them is BBB, which is a hamburger chain in Israel, which helps us on a daily basis defining and bringing the solution to the market. We are currently already have the first product in terms of taste and textures, in terms of the material itself, and people who taste it say it's totally comparable with meat. We are currently working on the development of the machine itself, the one that will sit in every restaurant. And we expect to have the product on the market in a couple of years. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Moshe. Very interesting presentation. I would like to invite our next speaker from the company Sierra, Dr. Tali Terabitz, the CTO and the co-CEO of the company. Please, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you. Second. Okay, hi. So good morning, everybody. We are Sierra. We develop intelligent vision underwater. Think about all the capabilities computer vision opened for us on land, like we see now autonomous cars and all kinds of applications. All this is not available underwater because of bad visibility. Think about the last time you went swimming or diving. You probably saw something that looks like the video we have on the left. The visibility is very bad, and then it's difficult to see, and it's almost impossible to do any automatic decisions or analysis on this input. But what if you could see better? On the right, you can see the output of our core technology or algorithm for visibility enhancement. Now you can actually see the scene, see the objects, and this opens the door to all kinds of AI and computer applications underwater for any kinds of applications or markets in the ocean, but also in inland pools. For example, inspection and protection of structures, oil and gas rigs, defense, aquaculture, diver detection, and so on. Any actions that you want to do underwater. So the main difficulty here is that the visibility deteriorates with the object distance. So things that are close, we can see them, but as objects go further away, the visibility deteriorates and it's difficult to see them. That's why the correction has to be specific in the image for the object, and you can't apply global image correction methods on this. So if you're thinking, oh, I have a filter in my phone that can do that, so the answer is no. You can't do that because they do the same enhancement on the image. And also the enhancement depends on the optical properties of the water. This can change even daily within places, and of course in changes within places. So what we do, we estimate the optical properties of the water from the images and apply the correction, which is based on the object distances without knowing the distances a priori. So I'm happy to say, so we develop physics-based models that model what happens to the light underwater and compensate that for the scene recovery. And I'm happy to say we have a first customer since last month. So I have a PhD in electrical engineering from the Technion in the topic of computer vision in scattering media. I established the Marine Imaging Lab 6 years ago, and since then we've raised over $1.3 million in research grants and developed this technology which is backed up with several patents in different stages. We have a very experienced team in this domain of underwater computer vision and experiments. Our method works on single images and it works in real time. So we extend the range between 2x and 4x. We work at any depth, in any illumination, both ambient, so sunlight, and also artificial light. This enables us to work in any ocean depth. We concentrate on image fidelity, so we reconstruct the scene and its colors to be as close as possible as to the scene. We don't need any prior knowledge, so we estimate all the properties of the scene and the water from the image itself. This makes us very flexible. It's an algorithm, it's a software solution. We don't require any external hardware, so we can use that with any type of camera, any type of robot, any type of hardware that goes underwater. And that's why we're also flexible for integration. So with depleting resources on land all over the world, there is an increasing interest in the ocean. This is not surprising because the ocean occupies 70% of the Earth's surface and a lot more of its volume. Operations in the ocean are complex and are very expensive. Increasing the visibility means that we're significantly increasing the efficiency of the operations with a relatively small cost. Therefore, we are applicable to all, as I said, to all kinds of markets that work in the ocean, but also in water, in inland pools. So military and defense, environmental protection, maritime security, fishing industry, infrastructure and ports, the oil and gas industry, aquaculture, and science and research. In our first phase, we're focusing on aquaculture and underwater robotics because of their great economic potential. So These are precision aquaculture and underwater robotics are growing markets with a huge potential. The underwater equipment is expensive to purchase and maintain. And as I said, we improve the results of any underwater operation with a relatively small cost. With respect to Japan, Japan is a very important player in this field. It has the 7th longest coastline in the world. Aquaculture is a major food production industry in Japan, and it's also dominant in developing robotics and automated systems. So what we have now, we have a software, as you can see here. The software does the enhancement in real time. It can either play pre-recorded videos or it can connect to underwater robots by streaming, providing the enhancement in real time. We also have a camera with onboard real-time processing of the videos. So the camera outputs directly the enhanced video in real time. As I said, we currently target the aquaculture market and the underwater robotics market, but also performing pilots within other markets. And we're currently establishing partnerships with companies for pilots, OEMs, distributors all over the world, and also conducting direct sales. And we will be happy to hear from relevant bodies and companies in Japan. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I just want to remind that the companies, the panelists, you have Q&As, so please notice the Q&A from the audience. Our next presenter is Siraj Technologies. Please welcome Mr. Othman Al-Sheikh, CEO of the company.
Hey everybody, can you see my screen and see myself?
Yes, please just make it as a full screen. Thank you.
Great. So thank you for the opportunity. My name is Othman Al-Sheikh. I am co-CEO at Siraj Technologies. So we are dealing with Industry 4.0, with making the factories and the manufacture more smart. In this world today, we are talking about a transmission of the factories to be more smart, to a way that they can use the data generated in their factories. And we approach and innovate a new way using AI and machine learning that helping companies to connect all the devices in their factories to cloud platform automatically, reducing time and cost and giving them the freedom to connect any device to any destination, to any application, to any cloud platform. So by 2020 or 2025, 30 billion devices will be connected to the cloud. The market of connecting these devices is estimated by $55 billion a year. But despite the forward momentum of the connecting of this device, a lot of initiatives still in the mode of proof of concept. They're facing a lot of challenges in connecting the devices to cloud platform, mainly because the huge variety of communication protocols and data formats. In other words, the different languages the machine talks. There is a limited internal expertise, range from time to completion, and there is a lack of standardization. And as you can see here, there's a lot of vendors. Every vendor generates the data and send it to the world in different languages. This is on one side. More than 50 communication protocols. There's a limited internal expertise in the field of computer science in these factories, and there's a range to completion. The current solution to deal with these issues and with the connectivity issues is either by physical IoT gateways, which is very expensive. And the second one is using the library solution, in which companies create adapters or converters or drivers, everyone calls it in his way, that enable to connect defined devices to defined destination. The two approaches is supporting limited predefined set of devices. And this is exactly what we came to change. Using our technology, we able to, as an income, get different streams from different devices. Using AI and machine learning, we can convert them and unify the format as output that enable us to use the data. We actually Google Translate for machine languages. We can deal with every language and translate to a way that we can display in our screens, in our dashboard, in our control and monitoring system. We actually one-stop shop for connecting devices. We get devices connected. This will quickly and easily add a new point, will reduce implementation time for IoT solution, will save money, of course, and mainly give the factories and the manufacturer the freedom to connect any device to any platform and give them the ability to expand their IoT capabilities. In terms of the team, along with myself, Yusuf is leading the R&D efforts, and we are backed up by a professional board of members. Dr. Giora Aron is our chairman. He was involved in more than $4.5 billion of exit in his startups. Along with him, Professor Jihad, which is previously the computer science head of computer science department, leading our AI and machine learning effort and researches. So in terms of milestones, we completed POC, we tested an alpha customer, we raised money, and now we're working on getting general availability for our product. And we already have some satisfied customers and partners. You can see in the screen some of them: GE, Netafim, ICL, Lyon. It's all companies that we are helping them in different ways to connect devices to cloud platform. And by the way, in this regard, and as to the Japanese market, we had the pleasure to host here in our offices in Israel two important delegations. The first one from Sompo Digital, the insurance company, and the second one, a delegation from Mizu Bank. I'm hoping that I'm pronouncing this in the correct way. And what we are now looking with them is more for piloting and collaboration agreements that will enable us to transfer the factories and the manufacturing in Japan to be smart and to give them the freedom to get into the Industry 4.0 revolution, which will give them the ability to do data analytics, predictive maintenance, and so on and so forth. This is exactly what we are trying to do. Thank you. And if you have any question, we will answer in the QA. And here's our details. We will be happy to further discuss. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we will move forward to our next presentation from the company OutSense. Please welcome Ifat Sekulom. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right, but please, the stage is yours. Ifat, we cannot hear you.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, and hear you. Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ifat Sekulom. I'm the newly coming CEO of OutSense. Joined OutSense 3 months ago. I have 25 years of experience in medical devices and digital health. And actually, in the past 9 years, I worked very extensively in Japan with top companies such as Mitsui, KDDI, NTT Docomo, NTT Data, Macnica, and others. And just to tell you a small secret, one of the reasons that I joined OutSense is that I truly believe that specifically for Japan, this product has great opportunity. And I think we can build a good business around that. So what I'm trying to... Okay, so what are we doing? I will try to make it very shortly, and the technical questions can be answered afterwards by our CTO, who is also in this meeting. The company actually finalized a 3 years incubator, went out the incubator, and is now backed by one of the strongest venture capitals in Israel, Peregrine, and we are now looking for partnerships, specifically in Japan and other countries. What we developed is a highly sophisticated technology that is capable to analyze human waste, everything that is coming down the toilet, from a standard toilet bowl. Our vision is to improve health and prevent fatal diseases in automatic and continuous manner by analyzing the human exertion, and by that also collect the world's largest database in order to provide personalized care. The first markets, and you can see this on the left-hand side, that we are going to address are the elderly market, at home and in care centers such as assisted living, nursing home, care centers, and the huge market of colorectal cancer screening. What can we actually diagnose or analyze? Dehydration. We can actually say in advance if a person, specifically an elderly person, is dehydrated. In elderly people, it's very important because they actually lose the thirst sensation. They take a lot of medications that cause them dehydration. Some people with dementia forget to drink. Dehydration can lead to very serious issues and hospitalization, specifically in older people. Reduce the urinary tract infection, which is infection in the urine. Again, in older people, the pain sensation is often impaired. They don't feel it, and this can lead to dramatic things such as cause kidney problems and others. And we can actually early detect this thing and prevent it. Constipation and diarrhea. Again, can lead to serious issues and illnesses. And the idea is to have the elderly person either at home or in the care facility, and to help the healthcare staff to early detect this issue, alert about it, and prevent it before a crash or before hospitalization. And of course, early detection of colorectal cancer. This is the most preventable cancer. However, people do not go to check it. In Israel, for example, everybody after above 50 years old has to go and get a check, but because of the hassle of taking a sample from the stool and taking it to the lab, people are not doing it, not going to colonoscopy. And the idea is to have a manual system that can do it autonomously without the need of the person to do anything at all. Why Japan? Japan is known as a very technologically developed country, and the population values high technological products. Needless to say that the toilets in Japan are very advanced, and it's something that is used in a very great manner. The aging population in Japan is rising dramatically in the recent years. And therefore, Japan is in needing technological solutions to give better care to the elderly population. Japan is known for the high incidences of colorectal cancer, and the issue of COVID-19 now pushes technology acceptance. And even in Japan, I guess the Japanese audience know that the regulatory burden is a little bit reduced in order to enable companies to give the solution. This is an illustration of the system. You have a toilet with a small device, multi-spectral optical sensor. The waste is actually going into the toilet, then going into the lab on cloud, where we do analysis to detect dehydration, hidden blood in the stool, blood in the urine, diarrhea, constipation. This is delivered to the caregiver or to the user, and then we can give personalized care and better care to the person. What are the advantages? Sample gathered automatically, non-invasively. The person doesn't need to do anything. No chemical reagent or active intervention. Real-time analysis result. No need to send the samples to the laboratory. The caregiver is alerted if there is any deviation of the result from the norm. We have conducted clinical studies and proved the high accuracy and efficacy of the product. Big data insight collect a lot of data. We are now collecting, and in the future we will have much more data to be able to provide personalized care for the patients. It's a very simple installation and it can withstand with any toilet environment. How Outsense improves care? The use of latest technology, of course, for example, in facility, enables personalized treatment based on the patient's specific profile and medical history. In facility specifically, it strengthened the facility's reputation, the assisted living care, the nursing home, with high quality technology that is implemented. Prevent hospitalization and deterioration. We know that dehydration, for example, is the cause for very high percentage of hospitalization of elderly people, both from home and long-term facilities, because people are not aware that they are dehydrated. Then they are hospitalized, and this, of course, we want to prevent the hospitalization, and by that also to save cost, so it has a very strong also economical benefit. Privacy, this is a kind of embarrassing type of testing. The system is completely autonomous, seamlessly starts monitoring, and when the person is in the toilet, sorry, I jumped. So there's no problem about that. About the future, again, I said we are collecting data all the time. So we're starting in the elderly care and in the colorectal cancer market, detecting blood, urinary tract infection, and dehydration. And later on, we want to be able to optimize food supplement intake. Just to give a specific example, many people take probiotics, and there are so many kinds. So we want to be able to exactly define the effect of this specific probiotic or food supplement on the person and give advice about the right dosage or the right ingredients. Personalized care feedback, fine-tuned drug dosage and efficacy, personalized nutrition for weight control, many things. Right now, we have a first partner in Japan. The name is Macnica. It's not on an exclusive basis. It's a partner that I worked with also in the past in my work at the Early Sense. Macnica is a $5 billion semiconductor company that is currently entering in the past few years to the elderly care market, and they are actually an integrator of devices and software to elderly facilities, both at home and in the facilities, and they are going to use our product in the facilities. We are looking for partners for integration, for sales, for even investment, even though we just closed the first investment round. Strategic partners are always welcome for this kind of things. And we will be happy to continue the discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ifat. Now we are moving to our last presenter, the company Khalgol, by Dror Tamir, a co-founder and CEO of the company. Dror, the stage is yours. Please, if you can just stop the sharing screen, and he can share.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's challenging. Stop share. Here you go.
Thank you.
Good. Shalom, everyone, and good morning. My name is Dror Tamir. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Khalgol Foodtech, and we are the first company in the world to farm grasshoppers, which you probably know in Japan as inago, on commercial scale. And we do that because grasshoppers are nature's most efficient protein source. They are healthier for humans and they are more sustainable to grow. I guess you all know that global demand for protein is expected to double and that existing protein sources are reaching their limitations. And there is a race in the world to develop alternative protein sources. However, sources suffer from their own set of limitations. For example, crickets that are farmed all over the world suffer from very distinct taste and flavor, and at the same time do not fit intensive farming because of they are living as individuals and you cannot dance them together. Grasshoppers are the perfect solution with 10 distinct advantages over the competition. First one, superior nutritional content with over 70% protein, no processing, all essential amino acids, and also nutrient rich, high on omega-3, omega-6, iron, zinc, folic acids, and vitamins. They are also neutral in taste and flavor, which makes them the perfect ingredient for the food and beverage industry to work with. And their tendency to swarm makes them best suited for intensive farming. They are 20 times more efficient to produce than beef, reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 98.8%, reducing water consumption and arable land usage, and they are healthier. From independent research, we know that grasshopper protein can support the growth of children, can improve our metabolism, reducing sugar and cholesterol levels, and reduce body fat. They are also the world's most widely eaten insect among 2.5 billion people, and they enjoy very high prices. For example, in Japan, inago can reach $200 per kilogram, and the highest price is in Saudi Arabia with $300 per kilogram. The problem is the supply is based on collection in the wild, which is limited to 4 weeks a year, and we can produce it year round. Grasshoppers are also the only insect that is kosher and halal for Muslims and Jews, and even mentioned in the New Testament as John the Baptist ate grasshoppers with honey. Regulatory-wise, this is the only insect that is recognized and approved all over the world as food for humans and feed for animals. And the reason for that is because this is the safest product you can find out there. Grasshoppers are picky eaters. They eat only fresh grass with no pesticides and no fertilizers. So the result is a very high, a safe and clean product. And the last one, to all the vegans and the vegetarians out there, grasshoppers are even more humane to grow than any plant, because when you grow the plants, you have to kill the insects with pesticides, and they are just being wasted and contaminate the soil and the water. And even the way we harvest them is done in a humane way, when we reduce the temperature, they fall asleep, and only then we collect them with no stress to the animal. At Hardwell FoodTech, we develop innovative methods and technologies to farm grasshoppers year-round, from a climate-controlled environment that enable us to grow them year-round through accelerated incubation of the eggs, reducing the incubation from 40 weeks to 2 weeks, increasing the number of life cycles from 1 to 10 per year. And the last part, innovative cage infrastructure that enable us to grow 10 times more biomass per square feet because we grow them vertically. We already operate 4 facilities in northern Israel with 22 employees. 30% of them, actually, not 15 as it says on the presentation, are persons with disabilities. The market opportunity is huge. According to Barclays Bank, edible insect market in Europe and the US alone will reach $8 billion by the end of the decade. And with our technology, the market could grow much faster. We are already offering in the US and Europe a line of food products based on grasshopper protein and nutrients. The products include energy bars, sports application, nutritional supplements, and meat replacement products, which we developed in joint ventures with leading food producers in Israel and abroad. We are also conducting pilots with leading food producers, including 2 companies in Japan. One of them is Adeka that you can see here. And we also have a lot of interest from other companies from Japan in our product and ingredient. We won a series of international innovation competitions. One of them was in Japan, Samurai House. And we are collaborating with leading chefs around the world to come out with amazing dishes based on the grasshopper protein or the whole grasshopper as it is. To date, we raised $5 million in 3 funding rounds, and we are now raising more funds now to accelerate our our marketing and production capacity scale up. And we are also seeking additional food producers to develop innovative food products and distribute them to specific markets around the world. So if you're hungry for more and you want to learn more about grasshoppers, you can look at our line of products of John the Baptist, biblical protein that we sell in the US market. And you can also contact me for a bite from the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ro, for the interesting presentation. Please note that everyone has a Q&A in the Q&A tab, so please answer the questions from the audience. Please, the audience, if you're interested to contact directly with one of the companies, feel free to contact the Israel Innovation Authority or ATR for a connection between the companies. I would like to invite Dr. Suzuki, Executive Vice President and Head of Business Development Office of ATR, to give us a few closing remarks. Please, Dr. Suzuki.
Okay, thank you, Yaroslav. First of all, I'd like to thank you, 7 companies participated in our event today, and also Avisan and Yaroslav for your dedicated cooperation as usual for our event today. I enjoyed and was quite impressed with your presentation very much, and I would like to work with you all. But unfortunately, a seat for KGAP Plus Batch 3 will limited. So maybe we will select 2 companies out of 7 companies given presentation today. But you have a chance, another chance to work with us. One chance would be if one of the companies, Japanese company, exhibit interest in your company, we can support you in a different platform called COSAIN, in which we coordinate best effort team to solve the issue of companies. So another chance would be, we are now trying to get a new grant. We will have a kind of a POC in a new grant. This will be a 10 years project, a very long and big project. So we will eventually come in contact with you to make a POC together with us and the Japanese companies. So our KGAP Plus Batch 3 will start by in the last week of July, more exactly the 28th of July. So we will choose 2 companies maybe, or maybe 3, and send our choice to Ella-san, and you are get the result from her. Okay, thank you very much today, and we hope to stay in contact for future collaborations. Thank you very much today.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Suzuki, for your closing remarks. Please, I'm just now sharing the contact. If you're interested from the audience to contact one of the companies, please feel free to contact ATR staff or the Israel Innovation Authority. If you're interested in one of the companies, we'll be more than happy to share all the information. So thank you very much for joining us today, and good luck for all the Israeli companies. We will definitely be kept in touch. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Be safe. Bye.
Bye.
はい、ありがとうございました。